guy, and luck is a luck.
Hey guys, it's Midnight Philoppicer, and I'm here with one of Gabriel's Master Lock 19s that he was kind enough to lend me to try to pick. And as you can see, this lock is pretty big. I feel like my wrist is going to fall off trying to hold it. I need two hands pretty much to keep this thing sturdy. I have a number one here to look as a comparison, a Master Lock number one, and you can see how much bigger the 19 is from the number one. And not only is there less pins in the number one, but you can see that the core is smaller. And if you look at the keys here in comparison, like, look at that. That's quite a massive difference between the two. So the number 19, unlike the number one, has security pins in the top. So the number one only has 4 pins. This one has 6. So the security pins in this one are, people call them barrel spools, but they look more like T-pins to me, like a double-sided T-pin, which I'll show a picture right over here on the side. And you can tell me for yourself what you think that looks like, more barrel spool or a T-pin. Let me know in the comments what you think. Also, I'm curious if anybody knows more about the manufacturing of this lock. I know it's discontinued and that they don't make it anymore, but if you know the dates when it was made, when they stopped making them, why they made them, because these locks are so much more significantly sturdy and higher quality than any of their other locks. So it would be interesting to know. So if anybody knows more about this lock, please share that information in the comments. I'd really appreciate it. But let's try to put this lock in the vise and try to pick it and see how substantial it is compared to a basic master lock. So just lock it in here and show that the key works nice and smooth. And I'm gonna zoom in nice and close, give you guys a good angle here. And I marked my pick in a certain way, so I'm using Moki picks with a Moki tensioner here. And Moki pick, and I have it actually numbered. So when you see the number up along the ridge here, right there, then you know that that's what pin I'm currently on. So just figured it would make it a little bit nicer for people watching. And let's take a quick look at the key so that way we know what kind of bitting we're dealing with. We can see that there's a really low cut in slot 3 and there is a really high cut in slot 5. So we're gonna have to keep those two cuts in mind as we go through the lock. But let's start with pin number 1 and see how that goes up into place. Kind of mushed up there. I didn't quite feel it click, but move on for now. 2. Same with 2. 3, I know that one's low, so I don't want to push it up too high. 4. Okay, that one's starting to get more stiff. I'm just going to play around with it like a barrel, because this is where it does lock in like a barrel a lot of the times, and at the end it acts more like a T-pin. Okay, there we go. I got it up a little bit higher. And not going too hard on 3. I'm going to go back and check 1 and 2 because they didn't really click into place. So I'll just see if they feel like they're up in a good spot. Because those driver pins are T-pin shaped at the bottom and the key pins are just basic standard pins, I don't need to worry too much about oversetting, because most likely the T-pin will drop back down if I release enough tension, if I feel like anything goes up too high. I don't need to worry too much about oversetting as long as I'm using heavy tension. Now, the keyway on this lock, I'll show you guys very shortly here, but it's also very tricky. Okay, I felt 4 go up well. Now 5 is the really high lift. See how that one feels. Okay, it went up pretty high. And 6 is feeling a little bit stiff. Just go through them one by one for now. Oh, 2 gave a nice click and it kind of popped into a bit of a false set. 5, 6, 4, I know that's a bit of a weird order there. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, now I need to identify which pin is holding me up. So I don't think it's 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, 5. Oh, there we go. And it's picked. So the keyway here, I'll show you guys what that looks like, because the keyway definitely doesn't make it easy, as you can see. But actually, even though there is that weird notch here, there is gaps in between the notch when you go through the pin. So if you're right lined up with the pin and angled with your pick, you should be able to get through. There's a bit of a gap, as you can see. If I'm right on the warding, then I can't get through. But if I go right to the pin slots, then there's a little bit of space to get through. All right, let's zoom out here. And obviously I can't gut this lock because it's non-guttable. But I do want to show you guys, just to drive the point home. This is the master lock number 1. So put the tensioner in there. Actually, I'll do this side so that the tensioner doesn't get stuck on the rivets as I'm trying to turn it. But I just want to point out before I start picking, these numbers obviously aren't going to correspond to this core because the size of the core is different. But we can see if I line it up to the final pin, that goes about to where my 3rd mark is. So I know if I don't need to go further past the 3rd mark. But anyways, these locks are very simple. So just a little thing to point out. I know sometimes beginners watching, and look, right away I go in so deep, it's just a habit, but only need to go to number 3 or so. Got a little click, got another click, so I think that was actually pin 3 that clicked, and then now pin 2, and then pin 1. Yeah, so much easier than the 19. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you very much to Gabriel for lending me this lock, and I really appreciate the opportunity. These locks are pretty freaking awesome. So let's take a look at that key one more time, and oh, listen to that. All right, take care, guys.